This property is around a little over 4 acres, 4.13 acres. And what they're asking for, there's a few things that's being asked. The BZA is hearing, having a public hearing as it relates to this zoning of this property, right? Or I'm sorry, variance on the lot. Sorry, excuse me, I misspoke. I'm getting ahead of myself. A different track, different parcel. On a variance because of if the lot is split, it would not follow based on the property size, the road frontage. Okay. So, David, if you would so kindly give us a update on this, talking about what our code requires and what's being asked for with this request.
I think you covered most of it, but the property is currently zoned A2 agricultural. The applicant is proposing to split this tract into 2 parcels. It's currently approximately 4.13 acres, and the 2 tracts would then be just roughly over 2 acres. There is an existing home on the property, 1 driveway. It fits within the intent of the future land use, which is residential estate, which is essentially anything over 2 acre tracts. The variance request is due to the lot frontage. So the lot frontage for the existing zoning would be 200 feet. This lot frontage the street frontage would be approximately 178 feet. So they're asking for a variance on that street frontage to be allowed to do the concurrent track split.
So for clarity too, because there's two different bodies, same group, 2 different bodies. We have the Board of Zoning that will deal with variance request. This is where this falls under. This will be here, public hearing. But it can't take place unless a lot is split. So there's a lot of contingencies that have to be one body rather than the other have to have argument or motions to make that happen. So at this point in time, does the Planning Commission have any, Board of Zoning Board of Zoning have any questions to staff related to the matter? We did talk about this in the work session.
And in light of the fact that the applicant tabled this request, I understand we need to have a public hearing, but
we must have the public hearing.
right, but other further discussion, I don't see where it's appropriate.
Yes, the applicant did specifically table it, requesting no discussion.
Is there any members of the public here that would like to make public comment related to the variance request that's been put in front of us? If so, if you would please approach the podium, state your name and address. Public comment is now open. Yes.
Karen Thiel, 3826 Ozark Acres. I just don't know what this variance is.
So I'll answer it right now. If that's what the question. If you have any.
Yeah, I don't understand. It has something to do with the road and his property line, I think.
So they've asked to split the lot into 2 parcels rather than the 1.
Right.
The code requires 200 linear feet of road frontage. It doesn't, it's not 400 feet wide. The existing lot is not 400 feet wide. So the lots be, what's been presented is split equally at 178 plus or minus feet.
Gotcha,
That's what the variance request is for.
okay. So did I hear you say that you're gonna decide on that now?
No, the
No.
public hearing is open, so any public comments related to this variance request, what's being put before the BZA, that's what we're hearing right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything to say about the variance, but I have something to say about the lot size.
That'll be the next one.
That'll be the next thing, I think. Do you guys have anything on the variance? John, Val?
Well, we're not holding a public
We're
hearing for lots.
Lot splits don't have it, so here's the opportunity, if you have any other concerns in this, please bring whatever those concerns are. Public forum's open, so Ms. Keel, you still have the floor.
Deal, okay. Yes, we have document that says lot sizes have to be at least 2.5 acres. So if their lot size wouldn't satisfy that requirement.
But that's your covenants in Ozark Acres.
Yeah.
We're aware of that.
You are?
Yes.
We
Okay.
have copies of the covenants.
Okay. So this wouldn't happen then?
That's what we have to go through the process, right? So you have a
Okay.
public hearing,
Yeah.
state whatever those things that you want to bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have an action session after public hearings, and
Okay.
then we go from there. So at this point in time, public comments open for the comments you want to make towards this.
All right. So then, will we have more? Will you guys inform us next time you talk about this, or what you decide?
Absolutely.
Okay. Via this meeting?
Well, we still have more.
Not this meeting tonight, but this type of
So
communication.
every meeting we have,
Right?
there's a published agenda. So every month.
Right, I get it, yes,
So that's where, if this is on there,
yeah,
it'll be on that agenda.
okay.
Okay.
Okay,
If you have an email, I can add it to our agenda.
I already have that done. I already have it.
Is-
You already have it.
Ms. Keel, is that, are you?
Yeah, I'm just, in my mind, there's still more discussion to be had, and so nothing's gonna happen that's against our covenants.
This is what, let's go through the public hearing first, then there's the action sides of it.
Yeah.
You will hear what those conversations are.
I guess what I'm saying is, you guys wouldn't take action that would be different than our covenants. I mean, you wouldn't have discussions.
Cities are not holding to private covenants.
Yeah,
What?
legally.
The cities are not legally beholden to private covenants at all. That is a private agreement between party members. Just for the record.
Between,
Everybody that
The
buys
covenant- the
property in
covenants, yeah.
Ozark Acres, yeah. Everyone in Ozark Acres that owns property there has to abide by the covenants.
right,
The city does not have to abide by the covenants.
so you could overrule our covenants, is what I'm hearing,
Theoretically possible.
yeah.
Well, I live right next door to him, but I don't own a house right next door.
So, again, public comments coming to everybody that wants to speak will have the opportunity here. So just want to keep the order,
So I guess we have to go talk to these people and say that they're going against the covenants.
possibly, what I would like to do, and then we'll have an opportunity for rebuttal and discuss the comments that's up here. So rather than me continue to drag it out, let's see what other public comments are saying.
Okay, I'm sorry, I
And
didn't,
then we can come back and address things if there's things that are similar,
okay,
rather than on an individual basis. How about that? Is that fair?
it sounds good,
Okay. All right, thank you, Ms. Keel.
thank you.
Who else has public comments? Any more public comment? Sir, it's a perfect time for the floor.
Bill Hamilton. I live at 2900 Ozark Acres, right next to this property. And it sounds like a covenant, even though we have covenants, we're gonna get outweighed anyway by the city, which I don't agree with that, but probably nothing I can do about it. But I wanted to say my piece, if they put a house right there next to me, I mean, it's throwing distance, it'd be that close. So I don't agree.
So I'll make your concern as proximity of a potential new home to your
Yes.
home.
Do you have any plans on
Now's
doing a
the
new
time
home?
to state kind of all of the concerns that we have.
Yes.
Not so much yes, the covenants, but any other concerns that you.
Does anybody have a plan on what would be where?
I don't think at this stage we do, they're just looking at, variance for the street frontage and then lot size.
Okay.
So, but if proximity to your home is a concern, that's what we'll mark down.
Yes. Please do. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Larry Bullard on 2995 Ozark Acres Drive. Myself, my wife, and most of the people in Ozark Acres have been there, many of them over 20 years, and we've been there 30, and there's people that were there in the 70s. And many of us bought the land and lots there because of the covenants that prevailed in that. And we just had a meeting a few days ago and to decide whether or not we wanted to legally defend our covenants. And it's unanimous. I believe we'd have unanimous support. Are you telling us that Cave Springs doesn't consider our covenants viable? Or does it not matter that we have covenants, or is it completely up to us to defend them legally?
No, what Mr. Keck indicated is by state statutes, cities do not have to specifically abide by covenants. It becomes a civil matter, if I understand that correctly.
Yes.
But that does not necessarily mean that the city of Cave Springs echoes that. So there's what's on the record and what's been recorded in your covenants, it's on county records. And then there's what does the state statutes say. So again, we're listening to what the commentary that's out here. What do the members of your community, our community as a whole, but your neighborhood, what do you have to say as it relates to the matter?
We've got the covenants. We've all agreed that we don't want to change them. Even though we've got some people that were affected by the highway coming through and it whacked the back of their properties off, and they ended up with a lot less than 5 acres, we're going to have to make variance for that. We hope that won't set precedents that they'll start splitting lots elsewhere, but these property owners had no control of that whatsoever. If I understand it correctly, the variance that they're going for first is the frontage. That's what we're discussing at this moment. But that's irrelevant.
It is and it isn't. So by code, things like variance requests like that trigger public comment. A lot split in its methodology does not. Okay, but you have to have the two on this case have to go together. So that's why the public comment's there.
Okay.
And, but I appreciate you bringing it up and talking through the position.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comments as it relates to the matter? Any other public comments? If there's no other public comments,
I'd like to have Jim Brandon, Ozark Acres Drive.
you said Brandon?
Brandon, Brandon. So if the variance was approved, and then it went to the covenants, would there be a precedent set that going forward, lots could be split, or variances would automatically be effective to take many parcels within Ozark Acres and subdivide it down below 2.5? Would there be a precedent set if this was approved?
It's a great question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that directly. But I see your perspective.
Yeah, I don't speak for everybody here, obviously, but I don't want many of the 10-acre, 5-acre. I'm on 6.7 acres. If everybody started subdividing their parcels, then we would have a lot and block subdivision, which is one of the reasons that we love living in Ozark Acres as much as we do.
Right.
So it's the precedence that concerns me the most.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Thanks for your comment. Is there any other public comments related to the matter? Right. At this moment in time, then, if there's no further public comments, we'll close public comment, and then we'll go into session as a BZA. So we've heard public comment that relates to this. Again, BZA 2026-01, asking for a variance at 2908 Acres Drive, Lot 7, for that parcel 051049500, because a potential lot split would put it under the minimum frontage from 200 to around 178 feet. The applicant is asked to table this request. What we did discuss in work session was, when this was brought up, what are the covenants of record? That was one of the first questions that was asked. Those covenants were brought forth and found that they are active. They were issued in 2006 in their latest form, so they're good for 25 years.
2031.
And then at that point in time, if the POA just decides that they want to continue it, it'll be active for another, or it will, I'm sorry, it's active again, it automatically renews unless the POA decides to amend or modify that set of covenants. And in the covenants, it indicates that all lots must meet a minimum requirement of 2.5 acres. What my opinion was, which I don't speak for the BZA, but my opinion is, I know what state statutes say, but also we believe that covenants of neighborhood were put together for a reason, and that was to be protected covenants of that, not to have something happen that the group don't want. And so our commentary, as part of it, was the applicant needs to A, get a written statement from the POA, whether that be their board or president or a group, that indicates that they're willing to allow the split to fall and have a variance from that POA covenants. Or if something else, or if there's a boundary adjustment, that the POA, whoever that party is, whoever serves on that board, would be in agreement, whether that be the majority of the neighbors or however the protected covenants allow for amendments. That was kind of the takeaway. That was some of my comments. I believe several of the planning commissioners and BZA echoed that. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're right. Well, and this was presented to us, a letter from, it just says, Beth and John Strickland, but the residents in Ozark Acres have always abided by these covenants and will continue to do so in the future. We're asking that the commission uphold these covenants. I guess we should probably just add that to the public comment.
We can't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry. We received a letter from Beth and John Strickland to the Planning Commission and just pointing out what the covenants were and requesting that the residents at Ozark Acres wish for those covenants to be upheld. Still didn't hear me?
Yeah, we heard.
Okay, maybe I need to eat the microphone. It's a request from Beth and John Strickland to the Planning
You got
Commission.
it. You got it. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So as a board, we will recognize that the applicant has requested for it to be tabled, so they're asking for us to not take action. Correct, Mr. Keck?
Yes.
Yes. But what the work session directed was, there has to be agreement from the POA or the members of the community of which the covenants are enforced upon to be in agreement with any modification. Now, I will, Mr. Hamilton, I want to address some of your comments, and with the setbacks, fundamentally, that on that too is what.
I haven't pulled them up, actually, it's like 25 feet on the side.
So with the setbacks, it starts to set, there's a building setback if you're familiar. So any structure could be placed in that building envelope on the lot per the code or how that was platted. So on those parcels at over 2 acres, that's 20, it's a 15-foot side. So a structure could still be 15 feet away from the side. So I just want you to be clear on that. That addresses everybody across the city. So depending on how your lot is zoned. So side setbacks, your building envelope can have some influence there, okay? Just to bring clarity. But any other comments you would like to make? Oh.
What if our covenants say different than that 15-foot? I mean, I don't know for sure.
It would, generally speaking, and correct me if I'm wrong, when the parcels were platted, what is on the plat should specify those setbacks. Setbacks in planning code can change if the codes are amended, but if it's platted, whatever's on those plats should uphold unless a change is made. Am I correct?
I would say unless the zoning change is made, yes.
Okay.
Because if the zoning change is made,
Then it kicks in.
then yes.
And that's a 15-foot minimum.
Certainly correct me if I'm misspeaking.
Oh, I think so, right. I mean, I think to answer the question more holistically, the city is not pulling up covenants of every subdivision in town and looking at what their covenants say for building setbacks. We're only going by our code. We don't, have everyone set covenants. So we don't refer to those at all for building setbacks.
All right. Anything else, BZA members, on this topic? Statements you want to make? All right. So does the applicant have anything you want to add or make a comment on?
Hello, Justin Reed with Bates & Associates, Surveying and Engineering. No, sir, at this time, we don't have anything to add. We're here to listen to public comment and concerns, and I would welcome anybody from Ozark Acres to talk to me. I can pass out some business cards, so yeah, we can have a conversation if anybody would like to. But at this time, nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. If there is no additional business as it relates to this has been taken, administratively taken by the request of the applicant, we have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn? Second.
Nancy.
It was Nancy.
Right. Nancy made a motion, Val made a motion to adjourn. Nancy, second motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. BZA is now adjourned. All right, and then now we will move on to the Planning Commission. I'll call the Planning Commission to order. Madison, can you do a roll call, please?
Sandra?
Present?
Katie? Here. Nancy?
Here.
Jason?
Here.
Val? Here. Here.
All right, all members are present. We have before us the agenda for the Planning Commission. Are there any amendments requested in the agenda?
No, motion to approve. Second.
Val's made a motion to approve the agenda. Kaylee seconded that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The agenda is now approved. Everyone should receive copies of the January 5th meeting minutes. Are there any amendments to the meeting minutes from January 5th? If not, I get a motion to the floor, please.
So moved to approve the January 5th planning commission meeting minutes.
Nancy's put a motion to the floor to approve the January 5th meeting minutes. Kaylee, second that motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? All right, those are approved unanimously. Next item of business is SD 2025 or 2026-03. It's for a lot split. This is for the E and May properties located at 2908 Acres Drive, Cave Springs, Lot 7, parcel 0510495000. We talked about this in the BZA, and this is about a little over 4 acres. The applicant is requesting to split the lot in half, basically, creating 2 new lots. Both just over 2 acres, 2.09 and 2.04. David, I don't know if you want to give another staff update.
I don't think
Add
anything
anything
else
to that?
Anything additional needs to be added at this time.
All right. The applicant has requested that it be tabled. Obviously, we did talk about this at work session and the same commentary as it related to the variance applied with relation to the covenants on record and what its requirements are. So that was the takeaway that we were given during that meeting. Anything else you would like to add? Okay. All right. Good to move on to the next item?
Yes, sir.
Next item of business relates to 2026-01. This is a property line adjustment for bond property located in Farrar Lane. There's 3 parcels involved: 05-10196-303, 05-102-111, 102-11000, and 05-102-09000. If you recall, this 3 parcels are about 78 acres, give or take. They were previously A1, and we went to a PZD. That PZD went through a reversal process, so it's back to A1. So the tracks, if you also recall, some of these tracks do not have access off of Farrar, and so what's being presented is to make adjustments so that they have access and make them more accessible from Farrar Lane. Daniel, I'm going to hand this over to you if you want to give us an update on it, please.
I would say that there's nothing that has changed since the work session. I think the overall consensus with the approval of the rezoning was that the parcels would have better access to Farrar Lane. You can see on the map how there's one down here at the bottom that basically has no access except through an older platted easement that runs through this property. This property is accessed through an easement to the end of Farrar Lane, and there's this larger parcel here that basically takes up the majority of the Farrar Lane access. With the proposed lot line adjustment, there will be access for part of this on the Farrar, there will be access for this on Farrar, and then this property will continue. A single property will continue to have an access easement. I think from the staff perspective, it helps all the properties out there as far as having access. Everything meets the requirements for zoning, as far as agricultural zoning. The only thing I think the only thing that was needed from a city standpoint was a Farrar Lane right-of-way dedication, which on the newest plat they established. So they have the right-of-way dedication in there. Half Street, 25 foot. I don't think there's any other concerns at this time.
Well, I think after the work session and look at the you've got the right of way along Farrar Lane, right?
Yes.
That was all added, the dedications are there, as of today?
Yes, as of this meeting, they sent this over last week, as far as, when we were having discussions after the last meeting.
Yeah, I think that was the only major commentary that we had.
And there was something shown there, it just wasn't very clear, so they added a full description of the right of way that was being dedicated, so I think everything checks out.
Adam, you have anything else you want to add to that?
I think it takes care of it.
Planning commissioners, do you have any comments for staff?
I think it's good.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, can I get a motion to the floor?
So. All second.
Kaylee's made a motion to adopt the lot line adjustment as presented. Fallon is second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? I believe that's a unanimous approval. Next item of business is a public hearing. Sorry, I jumped ahead to 6. Item 6, 2025. No, sorry.
That was
I'm
six.
right. This is
We
blue
just
color.
did
The blue
six,
color's
not
throwing me off here.
Yeah, the infrared ones.
So we are talking about public hearing for RZ 2026-01. This will be for a public hearing for this property located at 8389 West Brown Road with a Lowell address 0510045140. Randall's is the property owner. Mr. Vitt is requesting it based on purchasing opportunity. So the parcel currently is A1. They're would look to split this parcel up, which is right at 5 acres, into 3 parcels, 2 at about 1.4 acres and 1 at 2.2. And so seeking R1 designation on the 1.4 acre lots and A2 on the suburban ag on the 2.2 acre lot. David, anything else you want to add to this, what's being requested?
From a zoning standpoint, I think you covered it. I think from a purely strictly zoning standpoint, staff doesn't have any issues with that. It meets the, it's in line, probably the better word, with the future land use requirements. Future land use does call out something that would allow for more density, but it does fall in line with the other properties adjacent in the area. We don't think from a zoning standpoint that this would negatively impact it.
Now, is the R1 where the current trailer is today, and then the agriculture zoning request is the one that's further east? The whole thing is.
No, the where the trailer currently sits, that would be the suburban ag, A2.
A2, yes.
Where the trailer is.
Where the current structure is at, that would be A2.
Oh, A2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, approximately there's gonna be a line right in here, and everything where this existing structure would be A2, and there's gonna be an approximate line over here, where there would be an approximate 1.4 and 1.4 parcel. Those are the ones supposed to be rezoned to R1.
So it's gonna go residential, agriculture, residential?
No, agricultural here, on the
Yep.
west, and then residential, and then residential.
Right, so to the left, the existing establishments are residential.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not, I thought you meant within the
No, I'm
development
sorry.
itself.
No, I wasn't there.
Yes, so there would be residential R2. Well, no, what she's referring to is this, instead of establishments. So there would be residential R3 zone subdivision. There would be an agricultural zone lot that is approximately 2 acres. And then there would be 2 residential R1 zone lots.
Okay.
And would the agricultural lot be A1 or?
A2, suburban ag.
So that would be hobby farms, and they could have farm animals right behind our residential, single family.
But they can.
Yeah, but they can already
They
do it
can
now.
already
That's
have
what
it,
they want
yeah.
to do now.
We probably are, yeah. But if we're gonna rezone it with that.
And across the street, that's probably.
Across the other side of the street
But
is A1.
the lot splits are an acre each? Yeah.
Our one is,
Little
yeah.
over?
They're
One
one
residential.
1.39.
Ours will make the minimum.
And you'll have A2.
And for clarity, before we have the public hearing too, this is for a rezoning request, which that's bestowed upon the city council to make a final on that, so it would be a recommendation, but then the zone, well, technically it could happen based on just legal description. We as a city have not taken action to rezone unless it has split, so that you don't have those strange zonings on the same lot, right? Different zonings on the same lot.
I think considering that that used to be the old city dump, it kind of makes sense. Because you're gonna be limited kind of in that area of what you can do with that property. That's just my thought.
I think it's fine because Brown Road is already kind of dense, and so we are adding, but it's like an acre and a half almost a piece, so.
Those are more like a mistake.
Yeah, they are. It's not like we're trying to do R3, R4 there, right? So.
Right, you guys have anything additional questions, comments before I open up public comment related to the matter? I'll open up public comment as it relates to this matter of rezone of this subject property. If anyone would like to make a comment, please approach the podium and state your name and address. Does anyone want to make public comment?
Hello, my name is Janine Ellis, and I live with my husband on Sycamore Street. And our property backs up to what you're going to be calling an agricultural, is that correct? So is there going to be any stripping out of all of the trees and the land and all of that beauty that is behind the whole line of those houses? Because this is the natural state. And if that is annihilated, I can tell you that we have families of owls, families of cardinals, families of hawks that you see every day going down Brown Road. We have an eagle that's building a nest. And if that is taken out, it is going to landmine all of those animals. We have the groundhogs, we have the raccoons, we have the rabbits, and we also have the squirrels deluxe. But when you start putting up homes, which are going to make how many houses there? How many homes are going to go on that land to the east of that? That's my question. And what we are doing now, my husband and I are planting, because when we moved in 6 years ago, we were told by the builder that the 13 trees in our backyard were fine. And we ended up within 6 years having to cut down 8 trees because all the root lines were cut from every one of those old sycamores and the hickories. Every one of them. So now we had to go out and buy a tree and have it planted. It's called a silver linden, which will give a canopy of about, it's going to go probably 50 to 70 feet. And it'll go out across to shield out the view that I suspect will come. And we have right behind our property the, what do you call it, transformer? So the lines go directly behind our house. I think we're probably, fifth house down. And I can tell you, the sixth house down, I can tell you that already the noise that has been created by Highway 612, which we knew was coming back when we were building the XNA. And now we have all of that noise level. And now knowing that Bentonville expects over 1 million people here by 2050, where are those people going to go? By splitting out these beautiful lots and then the agriculture, because there's a ravine that goes back behind there, a little ravine. And we know that the ravine that goes down behind, Hickory on the east side, it's flooded out all those houses down there. Ravine flooded. And when they were building those last, on this end, south end, they flooded out and had to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild with, there was 87 dump truck loads of dirt delivered after that major rainfall. So being that this is the natural state, and we bought that piece of land before it was built out. And now this is fearfully one of the worst things that can happen. Because then when you go down behind, then they decide to sell and split off that land down, that's going to do our property. It's going to take out all of those beautiful animals. I'm telling you, what's going to happen, just watching what's happened now, what's happened on Ford Lane, down Brown and up Ford.
So for your comment,
yes,
you are concerned about the rezone.
Yes.
For the reason of the trees along.
And I'm not just a tree hugger. Excuse me?
What's on there, the subject property that's in the adjacent property?
It is the property line. So if you're going to be placing the zone behind these homes on Sycamore, where that land is open, as a agricultural spacing.
So it's already in
Right.
So it's
is
staying in agriculture. It's a to suburban ag classification, which what that does is says you can't run all this livestock on it.
Correct.
Limits what
Correct.
you can
Keeps
do.
it
Smaller hobby farm.
Yes. Yes. And so in that, then, is that going to stay that way, or as this gentleman had stated, that it doesn't matter? It can be just what it can be taken out if it's rezoned.
It can be taken out now.
It can be taken out. The property owner
Right.
controls it. If they want to cut
Right.
down the trees, they can do it.
Right. I agree with that.
So, while I understand your perspective,
Yes, thank you.
the zoning does not do anything that what you're discussing.
Okay.
The property owner, if they decided they want to bring a dozer in
Absolutely.
there and take it out, that's on
I
their,
understand
that's their
that,
prerogative.
And I wanted it to be known that in that, the more houses that are put out in Cave Springs, the lesser the quality of our life is going to bring here. So that is what I really wanted to get across to y'all, because it's very beautiful here. We're fortunate. And then just go over to Bentonville and notice what's going on. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Very much.
Is there anyone else that has to make a public comment related to the matter?
Brad Scott, live at 1007 Ravine Street. I'm actually a little relieved at seeing the lot split, what you guys are looking at. My biggest concern is if there's a rezoning later, but by the sound of it, if they've already got this in their plans, I'd like to get an idea, and I don't know who I would need to contact to find out what their plans are for these couple houses they're putting in there. I'm sure they've got a plan because they are already planning on this, but like I said, I'm relieved at seeing what it is, but I'd still kind of like to have an idea of what exactly they're putting in there. But honestly, I'm relieved. It looks better than it could have been. So, thanks.
Is there anyone else that has public comment? Any other additional public comment? So again, the single family houses is what they're looking to put in on the 1.4s. Two houses, one house on each.
And I've heard just from the neighbors that the builders that are looking to build here have some pretty nice property they're looking to put in there. But I don't know exactly who that is.
Yeah, well, it's up. The next item is on the, which probably may answer some of your questions that you might hear there. But again, 2 single family homes to go on the R1s where the trailer, the existing structure is at. There's no changes requested there.
I have no problem seeing that one.
Yeah.
But the person that's still there, the person that's living there, they are looking to split the property to sell to these others that has family that's nearby. All right.
So they can basically, it's up to them what they want to put there.
There's no covenants, there's nothing like that. Is there any other public comment related to the matter? If not, I'm going to close public comment. Do you have anything else you want to add? Public comment is now closed. All right. So, again, with this rezone request, we're talking about 8389 West Brown Road, Lowell address at parcel ID 0510045140. They're wanting a rezone, but we need to talk about the lot split. And we have to take an action in a lot of ways. Every way is contingent upon the lot split. So, it is and it is. So there's some things that need to be talked about on the next thing. David, I know there was more discussion, and I don't know if it's related to this, but we need to talk about the other. But I don't. Is it really safe to say this really needs to be tabled at this point in time?
I think that's a fair assessment. There's no one here for the applicant that I'm aware of. There are definitely some things that still need to be worked out that we can discuss later. I mean, it could be approved and passed on to city council, but it would potentially have to be tabled there unless some other things, and unless some other things come to light or are done relatively quickly, which I don't foresee happening.
My concern, I speak for myself, is certainly it could be contingent on a successful lot split. But if the lot changes, then it has an influence on it, which then requires a whole new public hearing, whole new trigger through that. You guys see it differently?
No, I think that's right.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Alan's made a motion to table this rezone request. Nancy seconded that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So unanimous to table. All right, so we'll move on to the next component of this. So this is for the lot split, the same subject property, 8389 West Brown Road, Lowell address, 0510045140 is the parcel ID. So again, the 5 acres being split up to 2 similar size 1.4 acre lots and a single 2.2 acre lot that the 2.2 would house an existing structure. The whole conundrum on part of this relates to basically sewer
Sewer and
improvements.
septic, yeah.
David, do you want to kind of go through this with more detail? I know you had conversations with the Public Works, engineering, and the concerns there.
So, yes, we've had quite a bit of back and forth with the applicant. And speaking with Public Works about this, I think initially the conversation was about adding one existing home, and the Public Works Department is allowed to do that, is my understanding, as far as extending sewer mains and service. But when you start getting into extending sewer mains to multiple properties, then it kicks different rules and things in as far as engineering and stuff like that. So the Public Works Department has since stated that this is not something that they're going to be able to do. They stated that they can do the work and they potentially would be willing to do that, but we still have to go through the design process as far as sewer, things like that. Water is available adjacent to the properties.
It goes across the street, I believe.
Yeah, the sewer is the water, I think, is adjacent.
I think the water is on the same side of the street. Probably
Okay.
I thought I had the picture in there as I looked it up. Sewer is across the street, but not having the full design done and having an engineer involved and looking at this from like a true preliminary plat standpoint, this was not something I think staff is in support of.
So, to kind of bring more clarity to this doesn't trigger a minor subdivision because it's just 3 lots. But the ask that they're looking for is turning it into the requirements of like a minor subdivision, because you're looking at Adam helping out here, lift stations and that type of thing, making sure that we're not putting a bottleneck in the middle with what goes further down Brown Road, and looking to improve the sewer system through there. So, we have that issue. And I don't know the timeline, other members of the community know better, but at one point in time, Sandra, as you mentioned, the subject property was a dump at one time. So, park tests, that type of thing, pretty much know that it's not go. Park.
The applicant stated that they would prefer to go that route and look into that, but I mean, I did send back that they would still be asking for a waiver of half street improvements, curb gutter, sidewalk, all of those things to be allowed in this on a lot split type of application as opposed to a preliminary plat. They were even talking about, at one point, kind of the emails back and forth, said something about we were wanting to do gravel driveways like the rest of the homes in the area. It's like, well, these are residential lots.
Yeah. It's no longer an
And this is a paved road, like a gravel drive is also something that we would not be able to do. It's a safety concern.
In support of maybe a fee in lieu for the sidewalks, is that no longer on the table?
That wasn't discussed earlier in the email, so.
Perhaps we're not ready at this moment.
Well, and I would say probably not ready at this moment, like other entities that have discussed the fee in lieu of, I can't remember exactly what our code is, but I think our code is 150% of whatever the estimated costs are. So I've discussed that with other people when they hear that it costs more than what it is to just do it. But we haven't pursued that conversation further in the last 2 weeks. As far as doing this. So
I think a lot don't understand that fee in lieu means it'll be done in the future by the city, but if it's 20 years in the future, you gotta cover those costs.
yes.
So that sometimes would be short, even if it happens 20 years in the future.
Now, would it be an option at all for them to gain, if, I think her name's Lily, that lives there today, for her to split off more acreage and make those other 2 lots bigger, making them more of a A1 hobby? Then that's not
She
necessarily.
can't get there, there's not enough. I don't mean to cut you off, but she
It's
can't
only,
get there.
it's pretty even 5 acres.
Yeah,
So, the most you would get would be.
you need them to be 2s.
One,
Yeah, so you're missing kind of an acre.
And I thought he said somebody totally do it.
Well, that's the
Yes.
conversations they.
I had asked that question initially, and they said they were aware before they even brought it to us and had started that conversation with Public Works. So that was where some of this has gotten disconnected and confusing. Because there was conversations with Public Works had before it was ever even submitted to us.
So has the applicant themselves asked to table today, or they're looking for a decision?
No, they're not asking that. I was expecting them to be.
Well, if it was zoned, if the lots were bigger, then the septic system doesn't come in. It wouldn't be if it would perk,
It wouldn't be a
it
barrier.
wouldn't be a barricade.
We would still be looking at a waiver from the subdivision code for the half street improvements. Sidewalks. Oh, I said we would still be looking at a waiver from the subdivision code for the half street improvements.
Okay. Well, without the applicant here, and these were several talking points that we had during the work session, and we already brought this up, that there's more that has to happen here. It's a little premature to potentially have on any of that. But the public hearing notices had gone out, so that had to happen.
Yes. From the rezoning standpoint, that had been submitted.
Yeah, right. But this lot split is kind of stuck in whatever works out with how the sewer is handled. Because even if it perked, it doesn't mean it's gonna perk on each lot.
This is true. And or lot sizes could change.
Yes.
There might be multiple,
By code,
test pits that have to be done, just find areas that can work.
well, by code, you can't have lateral lines that cross broad boundaries. So until, however, sewer is approached is reconciled, there's really no lot split action. It's really not ready.
Yeah.
So it's more of a, not the planning commission tabling it to think about it more, it's really the applicant has more work to do, right? Incorrect in those
I
statements?
agree.
I would agree, yes. I mean, we had emailed numerous times back and forth last week as far as different ideas that were having options and discussing it with Public Works, the end of the week before and into next week, and trying to get all the information that's on the table.
So I'm gonna make a motion to table this for inconclusive information that's been presented at this time. With the burden on the applicant to bring more to this, bring more information forward on how this would be potentially resolved.
I agree.
So, in a motion,
Second.
Nancy's second motion for tabling. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? All right, so unanimously we tabled that item. All right. Next item of business is a tract split for the Hayden Revocable Trust located for property located at 10192 South Morningstar Road, Cave Springs, parcel ID 05-10267-464. So this subject property, if you recall, out on Morningstar is about a mile west of Highway 112. Property is about just under 10 acres. Currently is zoned A2 Ag. The applicant's proposing to split the property into two parcels. The parent tract remain about 6 acres, and the proposed new tract to be a little over 4. So what was communicated is that this tract split maybe create access to some other property, another subject parcel behind it. So to the east. David, do you want to talk through this some more? Clean up where I left off?
Well, I think you hit all the high points of the discussion we had at the work session. It is a fairly large split, doesn't require any rezoning. Say fairly large, in 3.87 acres is being split off, and the parent tract is retaining approximately 10 acres, I believe. What was in, some of the discussion, being on things with it, was that this was going to potentially provide future access to a property to the rear. That property is not in Pittsburgh city limits, however, otherwise probably would make the recommendation to do a lot line adjustment and incorporate it all together. I think the only thing that we had on this from a planning standpoint was the dedication of right-of-way along Morningstar Road, which has been added. You can see on the back page. Morningstar is a collector, I believe. Okay, sorry, I haven't found the page yet when we're done. But they have dedicated the west of the right-of-way from the center line of Morningstar. Yes, 45 feet. Yeah, so it is a minor account, that's what it is. So, from a planning standpoint, that has been dedicated. Pretty flat. I don't think there's anything else that we were concerned with. There was some discussion about a perk test on this one also, just because it is creating a lot, could be good.
But because it's agriculture, at this point in time, it doesn't require it. Am I right? Am I correct on that?
I would agree, yes. I would say that given the intent and the size of the lot, that it wasn't something that we felt was true.
Because if a home was to be built, before they could even get that home built, they would have to confirm the lot.
Yes, they would have to figure that out. Yes, so it's currently A2. That is what it's currently. I think this is the one where I got myself confused last week with the future land use. Future land use calls it out as residential estate.
Right.
We had zoned it A2 whenever we did the map update and zoned these properties. This one was big enough to be zoned something other than A2, but given the use of land on all around it and all on Morningstar, we had left this one at A2 instead of zoning it fully ag. So therein, it did not require the zoning change with this.
Okay. Planning commissioners, do you have any questions for staff? With that stated, is motion that someone would propose?
I propose that we approve making a lot split of the two parcels.
Okay. Sandra has made a motion to approve the tract split per, the plat as described. Nancy seconded that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That is unanimously approved. All right, next item of business relates to site plan review. This is P4 Commercial Phase 3 and 4. This is, you're familiar, C2 commercial property located along about 150 and 162 Green Lane, Cave Springs. And it relates to the parcel 0512605000. So this phase 3 includes 4 12,000 square foot commercial buildings, associated drives and parking, water enforcement extensions. Phase 4 includes 2 12,000 square feet and 1 13,000 square feet, and then another 7,000 square foot building, accompanied again by another 18,000 square foot commercial building with, again, all the associated drives, parking, utility extensions, so on and so forth. David, would you give staff comments and go over anything that I missed on the high points?
I mean, I think at this point, we're still waiting on some of the resubmittals from the comments that were sent out right before the previous meeting. The applicant has sent out a landscape plan, and we've had some discussions about the new subdivision or development regulations for commercial development, things like that. Really, I don't think there's anything majorly new to add at this point. I'll let the applicant speak to it, and if y'all have any further questions at this time.
Floor.
Alright, Evan McMahon of Craftsman Soul, representing the developer. I don't think there's anything new. I think we covered everything in the work session, but we'll just request that this be tabled until the next meeting, and hopefully by then we can get through all of the remaining comments and have a cleaned up submittal ready for approval. As David mentioned, we submitted the landscape plan for review. I don't know if you all had a chance to look at that. If you had any comments that we should be aware of outside of the standard review for that, happy to discuss those and note them, and we can address them between now and the next work session. But yeah, like David mentioned, we'll work through a second submittal. We should have it in this Friday, and then hopefully get that reviewed back to us before the work session, and then we can have it all teed up for the next meeting. So.
Yeah, and one of those comments was getting additional elevations from the architects.
Yeah.
Since the code has changed.
Right, yep. David directed us to that location, so I believe the architect is working on getting that put together. I don't know if we'll have that for the submittal or not. I haven't heard back from him on that yet, but we'll definitely have it before the work session. So.
Okay. Val, did you have any comments on the landscape?
No.
Okay.
It is the scales and everything there, but
It's a little zoomed out there.
it's the line type scales are off.
Okay.
Your hatches don't match what's in the legend. Graphical things that need to be timed up.
Time direction
They'll
stuff.
fix it on the next round.
Yeah, it hasn't gone through QC, so I'll make sure they get that cleaned up. Great.
Planning Commission, do you have any other comments for the applicant?
I thought the amount of landscaping looked a little sparse.
I assume they're trying to stick with the intent based on previous phases.
Probably, yeah. We kind of instructed
You
them
might
to
just
just.
review the code to ensure that you're hitting the current code because
Yeah.
I mean, it will require the current.
Right.
I think there was a seed mix or something
Okay.
Because it's just like, all the black is like hatched. Even on the computer, I like tried to zoom in and it doesn't correlate to the legend very well.
Okay. Is it clarified to whether it's seed or sod or which areas or one or the other?
Yeah, just make sure your hatches represent what they are, and then if it is seed or sod, let us know which one you're going with.
Okay.
Go ahead and make that choice so that we know what to expect.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what to do on the slopes. I imagine that 3-1 slope on the east side will. They want to hydro seed that thing, so.
It just looks like the CTV style might be off or line scale because there's like color mixed in.
Gotcha. Oh. Okay.
So.
I'll have them take a look at it.
Yeah, there's just weird things, but it looks like it was just a quick.
Yeah, it was a first and middle for them for sure.
Yeah.
So I guess someday a little rock will come too. So.
Definitely. I did have a question about how it's running into the cul-de-sac there, because it shows like the curb is like running out and shooting.
The cul-de-sac's not shown correctly on there.
I was gonna say, well, where are we putting sod or plants or?
Yeah, we're gonna have to survey go back out and pick it up because it was originally shut off a drone, which most of it's fine. They've gone and filled stuff over there a good amount, so we can't reshoot it every 2 months. But that needs to be. We need to get the curb more defined in there. So I'm not sure if we go back out and pick that up.
I think my comments, looking at that, I agree. I'm concerned about it from a safety standpoint. We have the cul-de-sac, and then there's a major entrance for all of those buildings straight through it, but then there's one side. I'm just kind of curious about
the traffic control.
Yeah, the traffic.
How they're entering into that.
Yeah, traffic
almost
pattern.
roundabout situation.
Yeah, pattern in a roundabout situation.
It almost seems like you might need to clean it up and make it an intersection instead of.
Yeah, so a cul-de-sac?
Yeah, it was kind of a cul-de-sac or emergency turnaround previous phase, and then now we're adding on to it, completing it, so it's time for it to like become what it was meant to be.
Maybe we just make it like 3-way stop.
So do you?
I think that's probably the best. Because if you get it, if Paycon's got some big truck out there that gets on the wrong entrance, we don't want them to drive around the whole entire commercial site to get out. But I do agree, it's
if you have fire access now through the side,
yeah, see,
you don't need it anymore.
Right.
And that was the whole point of it, to have an in.
Yeah.
You could just dead end it right there.
Yeah.
I want to say that was part of phase 1 or something.
It was part of it when Paycon came through, like their headquarters.
Yes.
It was.
That was a fire camera.
Yeah, because it was.
Yeah. Yeah, are you guys alright with us turning it to just a 3-way stop and straightening out the driving alignments a little bit so they're maybe spaced out a little bit better?
So you're saying take the cul-de-sac out and making that merge into a 3-way stop?
Ideally, we wouldn't rip it out, but yeah, I think we have to.
I mean, if it's there, it's really difficult to control it.
Yeah.
As a cul-de-sac, or as a
box down. That looks like it's
too large to too small or something.
Yeah, it does.
Offset issue.
Yeah, off of that, I don't even know what that was called. What's it called on that street? Grading Lane. It makes the transitions from the street into the.
Well, it
looks like the arcs trunk into next down.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's if it's a visual trick on the, or if there's actually arcs that goes along. Looks like you're taking a wider street to a narrower street.
Are you talking about where it goes from the cul-de-sac to the? Because there's private driveways. It's not like a public street past the cul-de-sac, right? So
that's access to all the parking spaces for all the others. So
well, it's just an access. Yeah.
It just sort of looks like the offset is either off. It could be the topography line is there, but it looks like this is an offset box.
So we didn't really a full road width or a
drive width, and I can't remember why we decided to do that, to be honest with you. But if we are fine with just a 24-foot drive aisle, like if it was a private driveway, then that would be fine right there.
What is?
Really, cul-de-sac, you can make the building longer or not add more parking stalls, you can get rid of that setback and that.
Yeah, I mean,
right away.
I think developers trying to be demoing more than we have to, but I don't know that the building needs to be larger for what he's wanting, but I also can make it work well with traffic flow for sure.
Actually, I think there's utilities and stuff around that, on the backside of that.
There's a hydrant, I think.
Yeah.
Like this.
I got it on the north side of the cul-de-sac, like the northwest
One
corner.
friend of yours, you think you might know, just off what page that is.
Well, it's read all 616 pages, but.
Oh, come on.
I know, it's like.
Yeah, the landscape did get updated to the drive.
I did print it, I'm trying to upload it now.
Yeah, it should be in your packet as far as the paper.
The physical packet.
Yeah, it's 4 pages.
You did know. Yeah, I can't read it. Where are you going?
Oh, that drive kind of next down.
Yeah, there's a hydrant.
There's a light pole right beside that street front. I can't tell if I see over it.
East side of it. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Because like, there's nothing else beside that.
There is a hydrant approximately where the extension of the road going straight is in that area. Right of that extension. I think that's what it is. But yes, the water line runs through the region.
So these are the plans from these two storage buildings. And there's
Actually, I think it is, because you were showing, I think we removed the.
But you're going this way, and then, I know it heads down. Going straight through it, like.
Yeah, it shows cost location of water line. On this one, you can see water line. It's showing. Right. It's in that piece.
Yeah, like, you probably had it going this way.
Yeah.
It was just.
I think from us, looking into those tanks and pump stations, because I know for the previous buildings, they're private.
Yeah, that's the plan for this. We just, some of them have an easement around them, and we just need to pull the easement back to that tank. I did want to ask about your comment about slope stabilization. Are you asking to have a geotech do like a global stability analysis on that? Okay. Is that necessary since it's in cut, not in fill? It's sort of cut down, so we're not disturbing that necessarily. We're cutting.
It's all filled.
It's already, it's existing ground and it's been cut away from there.
Everything is mined out.
Yeah. So we're not building the slope up. It's already being cut down. We might clean it up a little bit. It's not probably perfectly in a 3-to-1 right now, but
Shoot me an email with
okay.
that explanation.
Yeah.
Like, or whenever you send back your comment response letter, just put it in your.
Yeah, and I'll circle back to the geotech and get their feel for it too, because that's not a geotech, so
Yeah.
I'm not calling it either way. But my initial thought is might not be as necessary since it's existing undisturbed ground or undisturbed, but we've not brought in import for that.
We haven't had plants in the old.
You haven't had a what?
We haven't had plants in the old.
Oh, I see.
Free.
Okay.
I mean, if that's something that kind of do a post that, get together.
Like the three of us, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great.
We normally plan to do it, and just, holidays and everything, it's no,
It's,
they've got a little too busy. But, if it's something you think would be beneficial, still be glad to do that.
I think it'd be good. We'll plan to submit probably Friday or Monday.
Okay.
So if we want to try to plan something, like give you guys a chance to look at it and then plan something for after that, so we can just iron out, throw any comments together. Is that what?
Into next week?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna use the able to do a first review.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out. Okay.
So maybe Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. You want to shoot me an email?
Sure.
And we'll get a time.
Okay. Okay.
Put it on.
Okay. Yeah, I know there was a comment also about hydraulic analysis from Fort Maine.
Yes.
We've got a report for that.
Yeah.
We plan to send it to Jack Tyler to review before we send it to you, but we'll just do it at the same time.
I think they did the original one for points.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're trying to, at the end of it, look at, just because, the whole thing was sized for XYZ going in. I think it's pretty damn close to what you guys are showing.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to make sure that the main that public has, the city owns, up to the main that's on.
Up to the gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the whole thing included in that analysis. I didn't design it, involved in it back then. My understanding is that it was designed with the intent of the full build out, but we're not about to show that, but yeah, we've got the whole thing up to the gravity covered in this. So I just didn't send it in the last submittal because it wasn't quite cleaned up enough yet, but we'll send it in Friday. So. Alright. Cool. Anything else you guys have for me?
Y'all have anything else for the applicant, planning commission?
I'm sorry.
I was just seeing if y'all had anything else for the applicant. Sorry, we've been having our conversation other than.
I heard that you guys are gonna get together next week and go over a lot of this stuff.
It seems like a lot of grade right here, and then maybe it's a swell with shrubs right in the middle of it.
A lot of what?
Maybe it's a swell you've got,
Is there a swell paging on?
L102,
L102?
between the two buildings, I have to meet brothers and
section.
yeah, what's happening there? Is that really that many contours? Is that
Yeah, we're quite a bit below this.
Yeah, so this is lower.
South.
So what's happening here? Because there's a sidewalk there, are you just dropping that 3 feet?
We're dropping into a swale, yeah, and then we go back up a little bit, so that's maybe first.
I'm
The water into
not sure how you're gonna go over the shrubs in the middle of the swell.
I think we can raise it, one thing I think it's still deeper than the tree. I talked about that today.
Even if you raise it, if you raise the shrubs in the middle of the swell, they're really not very good. Otherwise, you might have stick around and the water just washing it.
Yeah, I'll talk to last week.
Yeah, see if they can come up with a better idea for that. And I think they're having a little bit of grade down here too. Let's see. Similar situation, I think, with our new ones.
Yeah, that should be a little bit flatter after the other one, but there's still a swell in there. Part of it's probably how you should find flat place to put stuff on it, because the buildings are pretty tight between it, and there's slopes on sides, but.
I was just saying, take a look at that and make sure whatever they're proposing is actually going to grow, or just opposite like some of the two.
Yeah, I know there's a drought right in there right now, which unfortunately right on top of the road, right, so they can go, so.
Now, I've seen some pretty cool stuff in the swells that they do. Where, I'm sure that there's at least they're close to the swell.
I tried to find a way to like, not it's right where everything has to go.
But so they won't get washed away, and the structure down, and channels. They can't have that long.
So this would be, so that's in 20 foot.
All right, so is there anything additional? So the applicant has requested it to be tabled.
Yes,
We have to take action. So we get a motion floor to table at the applicant's request. So, Don made a motion, can I get a second, please?
Second.
Nancy, second motion, all those in favor of tabling the applicant's request, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, unanimously, tabled, we'll see you in the work session. Thank you very much. If there's no other items to discuss, which we have approved the agenda, so there's not.
We adjourn the meeting.
All right, Nancy made a motion for adjournment, David second that motion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.